Hey Steve, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, we can see that your posture with your spine is perhaps a little bit rounded through here. Your legs then do come down into a nicely unlocked position. You do hang your arms down nice and naturally in front of you, and the club works out to the ball. So if I were going to work on your golf game, we would try and just sort of get your tail out and up a little, get your sternum out, up, and forward a little. And what that's going to do is just going to straighten your spine. It'll probably keep it on pretty much the same angle, but it would obviously straighten it as such. Legs would come down, stay in the exact same unlocked position. We might hang your arms so your hands are just a little bit closer to your thighs, increasing the angle relationship between your arms and your golf club. So subtle revision from red into yellow would be ideal. Next thing take a look at here is your alignment. We can see your feet aimed in this direction here. We'll carry that out towards the intended target. Now theoretically your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera do have an appearance to converge. Under that scenario, we can see that you would have been set up to hit the golf ball sort of right towards the left edge of the fairway, meeting the left rough. Now, you might set up like this because you may be accustomed to sort of attacking the ball from out to in, leaving the face open, and producing some form of a, a little bit of a fade or slicing action to find the intended target. At this point in time, we're going to do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. We've got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. So we can see how his spine is straighter, and maybe he's got a little bit more angle relationship between the arms and the golf club with his hands a little closer to his thighs. But with Jordan Spieth, simply you want to draw the golf club back by turning the shoulders, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. Want to see the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. Also, in the early stages of the golf swing, we need to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play where we're going to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands to getting the club head above and behind our hands. This is a really, really important move in the transitional takeaway here. From here, we're now going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we either want to have the left arm and the club situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically even up on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth. We want to create full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a very stable right leg, all the while maintaining the posture axis we achieved at address. With you, we watch you draw the golf club back here. Hands come back very nicely, turning the shoulders. Club's coming back on a good plane. Looks really, really nice. We see that your wrists are remaining a little bit rigid with the golf club. Hopefully we see some wrist hinge occur here where the club head now goes above and behind the hands. Definitely goes behind, not above. So club's getting a bit laid off and we're lacking in wrist hinge here. We do get a little bit of wrist hinge there, and the club now recovers a bit better, and probably see that a little bit more in the next couple frames as well. From here, let's work the club to the top, see where you finally set things. We can see when you finally get to the top of your backswing, you've turned your shoulders nicely. Very stable right side, maintaining your posture. You also have your arms in really good geometric relationship to your core, and the club's in excellent position relative to your arms. So you've done a really nice job with your backswing. It just had a little bit of late wrist hinge, but no big deal because it's not really causing you a breakdown in your set position here. As we create our transition back into the ball, simply what we want to do now is we want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind the core, and fire the hands. And in doing so, we have to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from where we set it in that blue-yellow V zone, that the golf club is returning back to the red line and back to on plane. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned back to plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. Refer to this as the check mark position. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone. This is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing. Aside from the fact he's also going to hit the ball straight because the club has returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. I also want to point one other thing out and go back to address. I'd stipulated that creating wrist hinge, getting the club head to transition from below and in front of our hands to above and behind our hands is critical. Well, it's critical because guess what? We achieved that exact same backwards check mark right here. Okay? The only difference is we're retaining more angle when we come into the ball because obviously we haven't completed our backswing and maximized our wrist hinge to this point. So here we are. We take it up to the top and we come back down and we get that golf club to return right back into the same position. So this is the most important position in the dynamic move of the golf swing. Okay? So with you as we watch your transition back into the ball, your hands come over the top, down yellow, out towards blue. Unfortunately, this over the top move is going to influence the club head, and we're going to see that this club head is not going to return back to plane. Okay? So your club's going to come into the ball too steep, over the top, and it's going to attack the ball from outside to inside, which we already anticipated because you were set up open. So obviously you're probably going to swing the club from out to in anyways. So here we go to the next frame. Club's going to fall further out in front of you. There it is. And now the club's going to be attacking from the outside. Okay, so if we just connect the dots, give you a good visual sense as to the exact descending plane that the club traveled into the ball from, we can clearly see that your golf club is coming into the ball steep. It is not returning back to plane like we see with Jordan Spieth, and it is not attacking the golf ball from the red line, from on plane. And as I stipulated earlier, this is the reason why we hit straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment, lastly assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So there's three things we need to hit a ball straight. We have to aim well. Feet have to run parallel left of our target, as do our knees, our hips, our forearms, and our shoulders. Unfortunately, all your body lines were going well left. Then we have to bring the club down on plane in order to hit the ball straight in accordance to that alignment, wherever it is. And at that point in time, the club face has to square up for it all to come together. Okay? So seeing that the downswing planes are vastly different here, we can go ahead and take a look at the pass of the club. We can see with Jordan Spieth, his club is inside the ball. It expands out to make contact, moves through in a nice natural subtle arc. So he's going to hit the ball straight in accordance to his alignment because obviously his grip is good. Your club is outside the ball. It's so far outside the ball that you might actually end up hitting this ball a little bit off the heel here. Now the club moves straight across the ball here through impact. Okay? So if we happen to square the club face up to this path, well, obviously that's where the ball's going to go, right? We're swinging in that direction. The ball's going to go in that direction. So now you've got to leave the face open, hopefully impart some left to right spin and just the right amount, and hopefully we can sort of fade or slice the ball back online. The issues that arise here is when we're swinging the golf club from out to in, if we over-release the club relative to the path, not only is that ball going to be going left on you, but now we've imparted some right to left spin, and we're going to hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook. If we leave the club face too open to the path, incredibly, we'll block the ball even a little further right, even though we're swinging left. And at that point in time, the ball has too much left to right spin, and we're going to hit more of a block slice. So the end result of your golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face, because the club is attacking the ball from outside, striking the ball, moving to the inside. If we square the face up, it follows red. Over-release it, continues down blue. Under-release it, follows yellow. And if we time it properly, it'll follow red and everything will turn out for you. Looks like you have a good motion through to the finish with your footwork here, so let's just check that out. So you carry yourself through to a real nice finish. Looks superb. So all I really want to do right now is take a look at your out to in path and check out where your club face actually was and see what the golf ball would have done. So club face definitely squares up. We hit it off the low inside heel of the club as well. So the ball is leaving on a low trajectory. So obviously, you know, if you get that club a little closer to the ground without hitting the ground, you'll increase the launch angle for sure. And I'm sure you do see yourself hit the ball a lot higher than perhaps this particular swing, which you hit off the low inside heel. Club face squares up. We see the ball going way left because obviously the face is squared up to the path, and that ball is not going to be coming back. It's going to be staying out to the left there. And like I said, unfortunately, it's very difficult to time this over and over and over and over. and you will see a variety of different shots from left to right tendencies based on what you do to that club face through impact. Okay? Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, certainly feel free to contact me. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a fabulous day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.